Haven't seen you guys in a very long time. Um, but I think I told you guys that I was thinking of just doing the, what do you call it? The reaction to every card, as well as the, what do you call it? Um, this basically upsets video. So how this is going to work? These videos are going to be longer than usual, but they are going to be twice a week, Monday and Friday. Um, so how this is gonna work is like normally, I used to do my predictions, so I'm going to be combining my prediction videos with my upsets videos because I just realized it doesn't make sense. I post my predictions on Saturday, and then I do other predictions on Wednesday. Like, why? So I just decided to combine the upsets videos with my predictions. That means the upsets videos will be a little bit longer than usual, but I think it's worth it because it's going to be loaded with a lot of information. Um, so that's the format that is going to take place. Next week, I will be including in my predictions officially, I will be including the IQ, fight IQ of every single fighter who's going to be fighting on every single card. The IQ rankings will come out every single Saturday on the standard video, on the video section of the channel. Obviously, I'm going to include the IQ on the shorts predictions, basically. I'm working on other things. I'm trying to make sure that I give you guys the best possible information. Big dog, Lifeish, how are you, man? How are you, man? I haven't seen you in a long time. You're never in the short section, right? I haven't seen your comment there. I usually reply to the comment. But if you like the live videos only, man, I'm happy with that. So let's get started with the predictions, basically. Cedric Dumas versus hello there. Hi, how are you, man? Cedric Dumas versus Dennis Tilulin. Um, I'm from South Africa. My subscribers feel like this fight is 67% risky. Um, I feel like it's 51% safe. The odds are in favor of Cedric Dumas at minus 225. Dennis is an underdog at plus 185. Greetings from sunny Sweden. Hi, welcome, man. I haven't seen you on the channel before. Dumas needs a win or cut. I like the new fight IQ concept you added because some fighters seem dumb and some seem to follow a game plan very well. I would rather pick a fighter that is smart because I know they will do well. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I'm going to be doing it every single week for every single card. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile the IQ, fight IQ of every single fighter on all the cards that are coming up. And then at the end of that video, I'm going to rank who has the highest fight IQ advantage on that particular card. So, as always, I try to go above and beyond to make to give you guys as much information as possible in order to make things easier for you. Ultimately, like at the end, or like the end goal for me is to get to a point whereby you are confident in picking a specific person because there's so much information that you don't have to even worry. That's the ultimate goal. The video, the official, like I said at the beginning of the video, the official ranking, the fight IQ ranking will come out on tomorrow. But it will be for the upcoming card, not for the Saudi Arabia card. So the ranking, the fight IQ rankings that are going to come out are for next week. Anyway, let me not get sidetracked. So I think I've mentioned this, but let me repeat it. Cedricus Dumas versus Denis Tililuin. My subscribers and I went with Cedricus Dumas. My subscribers feel like this is 67% risky. I feel like it's 51% safe. The odds are in favor of Cedricus Dumas at minus 225. Dennis is an underdog at plus 185. Do I think an upset is possible here? Let me see. Let me see. I don't know, man. I think it is. It's a coin flip. I heard that Dennis has been training with Sean Strickland. So that will probably improve his striking abilities. But I mean, Dennis can actually mix in the grappling and all those type of things. So that might change the fight in some way. Um, but I mean, if I live next to the road, guys, so like, sorry if the noise is too loud in the background. So it's kind of tricky. When I was saying this fight is 51% safe, normally I do a little bit extra research for my live videos. So looking at the research that I made, it looks like it's gonna be a close fight. So I feel like an upset is possible here when you consider the fact that Denis Tiluluin trains at Extreme Couture, which has incredible fighters. So it is possible. I mean, not all of them are great. I mean, Sean Strickland is one of the greatest ones, but there are those that I feel like are not that exceptional. But the mere fact that you have a training partner or training partners on that level will probably affect the entire gym. So it's kind of worrying. So in all honesty, despite how confident I feel about this, actually my confidence level is not as high as it was when I did these predictions, because I felt like it's going to be close. So the best thing to do, in fact, about this whole entire card, man. Like when I was doing these predictions, I was like, I'm 100% sure that that the probability of me getting 100% is extremely high. And then after I did extra research, because I normally do extra research for my live videos, I was like, shit, this is gonna be a very close fight. So surprisingly, even the fight that I felt like was a lock is gonna be a bit tricky. But I'll get to it. I'll explain it. But yeah, my subscribers and I went with Cedricus Dumas. I feel like he should win. He has a bit more skills. He's well rounded. He's a little bit younger. He's on his way up. I think he was slightly robbed in his last fight. He looked good, on the feet. He looked sensational um, until the foul that led to the TKO or whatever the finish was. So I feel like he looked good in that fight. And I mean, if he loses, I agree with everyone. Hi, Clara. Um, so yeah, I agree with everyone. If he doesn't win, man, I think he should be cut. And it sucks, but you have to win, man. Especially when you get a layup like Dennis Tililuin. Like, you have to win. So yeah, my official pick and my subscribers' official pick is Cedric Dumas. Do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, it's a close fight, so it is possible. On to the next one. Jai Herbert versus Rolando Bedoya. My subscribers and I went with Jai Herbert. My subscribers feel like this is 56% risky. I feel like it's 51% safe. The odds are in favor of Jai Herbert at minus 135. Bedoya is a plus 110 underdog. Here's another one, right? My, I still feel a bit confident about. That's why I said it's 51% safe, right? Asamad is the prediction log. Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. I don't know how the height will affect that. That's the only thing that concerns me. But I'll get to it when I get to Azamat. But I agree. Um, I agree with that particular analysis. So Jai Herbert, I feel pretty confident about him winning this particular fight. The people have been saying that Rolando Bedoya has a lot of volume. I mean, volume doesn't really mean much if you're fighting someone who can avoid getting hit. Volume gets you tired if you don't hit the target. So I'm not too impressed by volume if it's not coupled with a couple of other things. So he has striking volume. I understand that, and his accuracy is not that bad. But I feel like Jai Herbert is the better fighter here. Um, so the only concern I have here is that Rolando Bedoya is moving down. Two things could happen, right? His cardio could be affected. I mean, what happened to Dan Hooker? He tried to move down. It didn't end well for him, right? Normally, when a fighter tries to move down, it doesn't work well for them. However, a simple example is Joaquin Buckley. The dude moved down and it worked pretty well for him, right? So if someone is actually committed and maybe if they were fighting at a disadvantage at a higher weight class, um, it works well if you move down. Kelvin Gastelum, I mean, nothing has changed even though he moved down, but he didn't even make weight, so that's a horrible example. But historically, fighters do well when they move up. John Jones, um, Alex Pereira, Robert Whittaker. He was at welterweight and was getting knocked out and went up and became a champion. Gilbert Burns was getting submitted and getting beaten at lightweight, moved up, and became a top five contender. There's so many examples that I can make of fighters who moved up and it worked really well for them. Fighters who move down, it normally does not always work that well for them. However, in this situation, Bedoya had a little bit of chubbiness, so he will be a little bit more toned in this particular fight. I don't know how it's going to affect his cardio. I don't know how it's going to affect his chin because the argument that a lot of people make is that, well, this dude was able to take Chaos Williams punches. So if Chaos couldn't knock him out, then no one is going to be able to do that. And he's cutting weight now, and weight dehydration decreases your ability to take a punch. Look at Alex Pereira. I'm not saying I still maintain that Israel Adesanya, between the both of them, as Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira, Israel is the better striker. Just that Alex Pereira has power. That's the difference. And if you disagree, look at their first fight. Israel Adesanya was winning that fight until he got knocked out. So I'm not saying Israel Adesanya didn't knock out Alex Pereira purely because of his abilities, but we can't discount the fact that Alex Pereira was cutting a lot of weight to make that division. So cutting weight sometimes does not go your way. Um, but if you were fighting in the wrong division, it might actually improve your fighting abilities, like Joaquin Buckley. So this is a tricky fight to actually be confident about because logically, I feel like Jai Herbert should win this fight. Um, Logically, Jai Herbert should win this fight, but there's so many unknown elements that are going to be involved in this particular fight that it makes it a little bit tricky to actually be confident. And I guess that's why the odds are so close, because there are so many unknown elements in this particular fight. But officially, my subscribers and I went with Jai Herbert. Is an upset possible here? Yeah. Largely because I don't know what's going to happen after he moves down. Let me. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, man? Wa alaikum salam, man. How are you? Let me move on to the next fight. Um, what's the next fight? Victoria Dudakova versus Sam Hughes. My subscribers and I went with Victoria Dudakova. My subscribers feel like this fight is 75% safe. I feel like it's 80% safe. Victoria Dudakova is a minus 165 favorite, and Sam Hughes is a plus 140 underdog. Here's the fight that I felt like was a lock. Um, when I was doing my analysis, right? And I have an analysis for a reason. Even though I do extra research, it's just to give me a little bit more clarity about confidence level. But normally my picks never change on my upsets or live predictions, right? However, I was looking at this particular fight, and I feel like Victoria Dudikova should win this fight. I'm pretty confident she is going to win this fight, but not 80% confident, right? Um, I'd say, I don't know, maybe 60%. I still feel like she's going to win this one, but the fact that it's women's MMA, Sam Hughes is not that easy to deal with. Um, but nah, man, Victoria is going to win this one, man. Like, let me not try to let me not complicate things. Hey, you. Good morning. See, good morning. Good morning. Where I am right now, it's afternoon basically. As you can see from the direction of the sun in the background. Oh, you can't see the sun. Anyway, it's afternoon on my side, but good morning. So Victoria Dudikova should actually win this one. Sam Hughes is a very difficult fighter to deal with, but yeah, man, like okay. Now looking at it, I think I was worried for nothing. Let me not overthink this whole thing. Yeah, Victoria Dudikova is going to win this one. My subscribers and I went with Victoria Dudikova. I'm not second guessing my lock. So just that my other concern is it's women's MMA, man. Oh, life is okay. On our side, it's like 3 p.m. Around 3 p.m. That's actually when one of my videos get released, like the standard videos. I release them at 3 p.m. So it's interesting to know that it's 9 a.m. somewhere. I need to change the time that I do my live predictions. Um, but okay, someone is at the gate, but my mom will attend them. Um, okay, sorry about that. So yeah, Victoria Dudikova should actually win this one. I was second guessing myself, but now come to think of it, yeah, she's going to win this one. So this was my original lock, and I think it remains my lock. But it's women's MMA, so women's MMA. Dudikova can look like she's going to be a champion in one fight, and then come back in this fight and look like she's not supposed to even be in the UFC. So that's the problem with women's MMA. But I feel pretty confident that she should win this fight. Um, is an upset possible here? It's MMA, so yeah, but the probability of it happening for me is not high. Get mom on this. Nah, man. Like she went back. Like she went back. Um, she knows I'm busy, and I didn't even greet her. Anyway, so yeah, Dudakova wins this one. On to the next one. Guram Kutateladze versus Jordan Vucenic. My subscribers feel like this fight is 56% risky. I feel like it's 55% safe. Why? When I do my analysis, I respect my opinion when I'm doing my analysis because my mind at that point is looking at so much information that I ultimately end up forgetting because there's so much that I look at and it's hard to retain long term. That's why I normally never change my predictions live because I know I look at so much information that it's easy for me to look at a few things and be like, oh, why did I choose this person? And then they ultimately win. But my subscribers went with My subscribers and I went with Guram Kutateladze. I think I said that right. Guram is a minus 230 favorite, and Jordan Fuchenik is a plus 190 underdog. Um, I feel like, when did you realize you prefer? When did you realize you prefer men? Like, why? I have nothing against homosexuals, but like, I honestly cannot understand anyone who thinks a man is attractive, man. Like, I'm sorry. So never. Anyway, Guram Kutateladze. I think Guram is a little bit better. He was winning his last fight against Elvin. What's his name? um, Elvis Brenner, and he got knocked out. He looked sensational, and Brenner is a very difficult fight, man, for anyone. So he was actually winning that fight. And then he got finished. Was he knocked out or submitted? I can't actually recall. But he got finished after winning basically the whole entire fight in the third round. So the only suspect thing here will be his cardio. But all in all, I feel like Guram Kutateladze should actually win this fight. I wouldn't go as far as saying he's a lock, but especially because these prospects, you never know, especially because Jordan Vucenic is ranked a little bit high where he's coming from. I think he's ranked number three or four um, in the region where he's fighting from. I think it's the UK. So clearly he's decent where he's coming from. We don't know how that's going to translate in the UFC, especially against someone like Guram Kutateladze. But Guram is an incredibly good striker. I think if he has been able to do really well in some fights, and he loses to good fighters, in my opinion. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I think Guram should actually win this fight. So do I think an upset is possible here? I don't know, man. The probability of it happening is very low. Um, I honestly don't think so, but it is what it is. Anything is possible. Anyway, on to the next one: Shamil Gaziev versus Dontel Mays. Um, my subscribers feel like this fight is 55% safe. I feel like it's 80% risky. Um, Shamil Gaziev is a minus 270 favorite, and Dontel Mays is a plus 220 underdog. Um, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like this fight is a little bit riskier than people give it credit for. I saw a lot of people saying that Shamil is going to definitely win this particular fight. I don't know, man. I feel like Dontel Mays has some strong skills. I feel like on the feet he is really good. He has decent volume. I think he's a little bit better defensively. On the ground, he has some level of a ground game. Obviously, Shamil Gaziev is not very easy to take down, so that might be a problem. But let's say the fight stays on the feet. Um, I feel like I feel like Dontel Mays has a decent shot at winning this particular fight. I don't feel like it's as clear as people make it out to be, or as clear as people make it seem. At least to me, it doesn't feel as clear as people make it out to be. So for me, this one is really risky. So do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think Dontel Mays could actually win this fight. Um, on to the next one: Mohamed Yahya versus Kawe. I don't know how to pronounce this name, Fernandez. I don't think I mentioned my picks and my subscribers' picks. My subscribers and I went with Shamil Gaziev, but I do think Dontel Mays has a shot at winning, so an upset is possible here. Um, Let me see. Do take do take is John Jones. Oh, okay. I was confused. I could see that you made a mistake. So on to the next one, Mohamed Yahya versus Koe Fernandez. My subscribers went with Mohamed Yahya. I went with Fernandez. My subscribers feel like this fight is 58% risky. I feel like this fight is 60% risky. Um, Mohamed Yahya is a plus 330 underdog, and Fernandez is a minus 395 favorite. Um, do I think an upset is possible here? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, I think Fernandez is good enough to actually win this fight. Yeah, I possible. The probability of it happening is not really high, but I think it is possible. Um, Mohamed Yahya has a couple of good qualities, and gosh, man, I don't know, man, because I feel like on the feed, Mohamed Yahya will have some level of an advantage. In fact, probably all of the advantage will go to him on the feed. On the ground, I favor Fernandez. So this is a very tricky fight, man. This is a tricky fight. Yeah, it could go either way. So yeah, an upset is possible here. Yeah, I think the probability of an upset is possible here. Um, so yeah, let me reply. Mez is John Jones, a training partner. He always has a shot. Yeah, that and I actually even forgot that point. You know, he comes from a really good training camp, so it worries me. It really worries me. So I don't think people should be as confident as they are about Shamil Gaziev, especially after he guessed out. I know this is 3 rounds and not 5 rounds, but and I know that Dontel Mays is not Rosenstrike, but nonetheless, I wouldn't count out Dontel Mays that quickly as yet, at least. Um, yeah. Anyway, I think I finished with the Mohamed Yahya versus Fernandez fight. Let me go to the next one. Azamat Murzikanov versus Alonso Menifield. My subscribers and I went with Azamat Murzikanov. My subscribers feel like this is 73% risky. I feel like it's 55% safe. Um, Azamat Murzikanov is a minus 210 favorite, and Alonso Minifield is a plus 175 underdog. Do I think an upset is possible here? Um, one, two. Nah, man. I don't think an upset is possible here. I feel like Azamat should win. I don't know how I actually forgot to check the reach advantage here. I think that's the only thing that would concern me. But apart from that, I feel like Azamat will probably have the advantage everywhere, and he should probably be able to finish Alonso Menifield. That's honestly how I feel. I feel like he should be able to finish Alonso Menifield. Um, that's why I said it's 55% safe. Um, so yeah, Azamat should actually win this one. Um, Probably get a finish actually. So yeah, on to the next one. Joel Alvarez versus Elvis Brenner. My subscribers went with Joel Alvarez. I went with Elvis Brenner. My subscribers feel like this fight is 50% risky. I feel like it's 100% risky. The odds are in favor of Joel Alvarez at minus 175, and Elvis Brenner is an underdog at plus 145. Do I think an upset is possible here? Brenner was not a lock for me, and I said this fight is 100% risky. But after the research I did for this live, I feel like Brenner will probably win this fight. Like, dominantly, right? There's a probability. The reason I said this fight is 100% risky is because Joel Alvarez is really talented. And even in my analysis, I had this fight 50-50. However, based on what I'm looking at right now, Brenner is probably going to beat Joel Alvarez, and he's probably going to beat him dominantly. Because I know a lot of people are picking Joel Alvarez. That's why he's also the favorite. He's not a big favorite, which also shows that a lot of people know what Brenner can do. And I feel like going fighting like that with Magdalberg or Obai shows how good Elvis Brenner is. Because Orobai, I personally feel like that dude is probably a future. Um, I don't want to say title contender yet, but I think he's going to be a future ranked. Maybe he's going to be ranked in the top 10 in future. I don't know about the top five, but definitely I think he's good enough to crack the top 10. So Magdalberg or losing a decision to Magdalberg or Obai is quite impressive for me, in my opinion. Um, And on top of that, Joel Alvarez has not been active for like a year, right? Brenner has been active. Brenner has been improving. Man, okay. I mean, this is risky, but I think Alves Brenner is going to dominate this fight. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, especially against Joel Alvarez. I think Elvis Brenner is going to dominate this fight. Um, So I said this fight is 100% risky. I'm changing it to, I don't know, 51% safe. I'm confident that Brenner is going to win this fight, but I don't want to say I'm extremely confident because Joel has a finishing ability. I think he has a 100% finishing rate, which means every single fight that he's ever won, he finished it. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at that here. I didn't add the finishing rate to the research that I have on my hand, but yeah, man, I think Elvis Brand is going to win this one. Normally, I would have said stay away from this one, but I mean, Brand is an underdog, and based on what I'm looking at, I could be wrong, right? But the elements that usually scare me about these kinds of fights is maybe usually if someone is not experienced, if someone is debuting, if someone is coming from a horrible gym, if someone looked bad in the previous fight. These all these things do not apply to Elvis Brenner. So I don't know what to be scared of at this particular point. Because when my research is like this, the fighter usually dominates. So yeah, I'm changing it from 100% risky to 51% safe. Elvis Brenner might just be one of my safest, my safer picks. I think she. Okay, let me not push it by saying, but I think they're on the same level. I think Elvis Brenner winning is on the same level for me as Victoria Dudikova. The risk level I think should be the same. So yeah, my subscribers went with Joel Alvarez, and I forgot to actually mention this. I wanted to mention this when I was opening up my live stream. I want to apologize to my subscribers. Last week they actually got 10 fights correct and only 4 fights wrong. I was so self-absorbed by my ability to have called Bilal getting the upset that I actually even forgot to mention they were more accurate than me by like by 2 picks. So I got 8 correct and 6 wrong. They got 10 correct and 4 wrong. Usually, one who's leading. Last week they actually got more picks correct than I did, right? So I needed to give them their flowers, to give them the respect that they deserve, because my subscribers, I think, have better predictions than like a lot of, like, the majority of YouTube like predictors on this channel. Sometimes, as you can see, they are more accurate than me, but usually I'm more accurate. But last week, and even when I'm more accurate, it's not by a lot. Like when I have better picks, it's like by 2 or 3. Like that's usually the difference. So my subscribers have incredible predictions. I wanted to mention this when I opened up, because I didn't congratulate them for actually getting 10 out of 14. That's really impressive. So shout out to my subscribers. That's why I involve you guys in this whole thing. Although I'm questioning, okay, let me not question you guys for picking Tony Ferguson, because I also have my questions about that fight. Tony could win, but I'll get to that. Let me finish up with this one. Yeah, I think Elvis Brenner is going to win this one. I'm not as worried as I was when I was doing my analysis. Obviously, I already had picked Elvis Brenner. That's my pick, but now it's a confident pick. My subscribers went with Joel Alvarez. So, like I just said, my subscribers are really good at picking fights. So there's a reason. There's something they saw. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I feel pretty confidently about this one. On to the next one: Mackenzie Dern versus Lupi Godinez. My subscribers feel like this fight is 80% risky. I feel like it's 100% risky. Mackenzie Dern is a minus 115 favorite. Lupi Godinez it's basically near even at minus oh 05, 105. This fight, guys, um, this is a coin flip, a literal coin flip for me. Um, oh, I appreciate that, Billy. What's your play? What's your parlay, brother? I wanna bet the last time I won from your parlay. Um, Let me finish my predictions and then remind me after I'm done with Cory Sandhagen, and then I'll summarize it for you. I'll give you basically the picks that I feel very confident about. So Mackenzie Dern, my subscribers and I, by the way, went with Mackenzie Dern. Um, I'm I'm honestly not confident. Do I think an upset is possible here? Highly, highly possible, because the extra research that I did here, I'm not going to change my pick. But based on what I'm looking at, Lupi Godinez is probably going to win this fight. Um, yeah, based on what I'm looking at, Lupi Godinez is probably going to win this fight. But I'm not changing my pick. I'm sticking with Mackenzie Dern, because I trust my analysis, especially because I improved it last week. Because I'm trying to make sure that I get 100%. I'm not happy with getting some few fights wrong. So I've improved it. So I'm trying to see how it's going to come out this week. So I'm sticking with Mackenzie Dern, but this fight is definitely 100% risky. Because I feel like Lupi Godinez is going to be the best striker. On the feet, on the ground, I feel like she's going to be able to hang in there. But the other issue that I have is, the last time people underestimated Mackenzie Dern, I can't remember who she was fighting. Who was she fighting in the main event? I forgot the main event. Um, Carolina, was it Carolina? I can't remember actually who she was fighting. But we were all thinking that she was going to lose that fight, and she came out and actually won, right? So I'm not ready to actually count out Mackenzie Dern. I feel like this fight is close, and I'm going to lean more towards Mackenzie Dern's experience. I think that's the only thing that I'm going to lean towards. Um, and obviously, Lupi Godinez lost a close fight against Verna Jandarova. So that has aged well because Verna was it Verna? Yeah, I think it was Verna. Verna was able to do what Zhang Wei Li couldn't, which was submit Amanda Lemos. You know, she was controlling her on the ground, but she couldn't submit her. So clearly, Verna is a lot better than a lot of people, including myself, think or thought. Um, so the loss to Verna has aged well, but I don't like to rate people on their losses, right? Because people have said that in the past, and then those people have went on to underperform going forward. So it's kind of tricky for me, man. I'm leaning more toward the only reason I'm picking Mackenzie Dern is because I feel like she's fought the better competition. She's had the experience. I feel like she has a little bit more pressure. You know, I heard her saying she is paying alimony to her ex-husband, or something like that. She has to pay him some money. So I think she has a little bit more pressure to actually perform well. Um, but man, you know these beautiful girls, man, when they're in the UFC, it affects their performance. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's 100% risky, so it's a coin flip. Anyone can win here. Like my opinion is flip a coin and flip a coin and choose one. But in all honesty, when I look at skill for skill, I think Lupi Godinez is better. The problem is I don't know how good she is because I don't feel like she's faced the same level. I don't feel like she's faced I don't feel like she's faced the same level of competition as Mackenzie Dern. That's the problem. Someone can look sensational against people at a lower rank. Look at Hamza Chimaev, and I still feel like Hamza Chimaev is one of the greatest fighters in the UFC. But he went untouched in the UFC since he came into the UFC, and then he fought Gilbert Burns, and then all that changed, right? So you can look sensational against people in the bottom 15 and who do not have the same level of experience or skill as the people at the top, which I feel like Mackenzie Dern is tested at this point. You know, um, that's one of the reasons why I feel like I don't know, man. If it wasn't for that, I would have picked Lupi Godinez. So I'm sticking with my pick of Mackenzie Dern, but I do feel like Lupi Godinez is the better fighter. So just stay away from this one. On to the next one. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. I almost read it the same way as Michal Oleksiejczuk, so that's why I was struggling with that. Mi- Michael Chiesa. My subscribers feel like this fight is 67% risky. I feel like it's 80% risky. Tony Ferguson is a plus 430 underdog, and Michael Chiesa is a minus 600 favorite. What? 600 Chiesa? I was about to say, I mean, the dude who got submitted by Kevin Holland. I mean, Kevin Holland just submitted Michal Oleksiejczuk, so I mean, maybe it's not too bad to get submitted by Kevin Holland, but let me see. Is an upset possible here? You know what? It's a close fight, in my opinion, right? And in a close fight, Tony is old. Tony is probably mentally, I think he's broken. Maybe he's he's not, because he's still delusional. I mean, sometimes it's a good thing because it helps you get to places that you probably wouldn't have been able to get to, because solely because you believe it. I spoke about it with regards to Bilal Muhammad. So maybe it might be helpful, but I honestly personally feel like mentally he is broken. Losing 7 fights in a row, like you are making history for the wrong reasons. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people like Tony Ferguson, but you're making history for the wrong reasons. I think Tony Ferguson is the only person in UFC history who's ever had a 7 fight losing streak. I'm not sure. I usually by the time you get to 4 or 5, they cut you. So Tony Ferguson is making history for the wrong reasons. So mentally, he's probably broken because he went from I think having what was his streak? Maybe 13 fight win streak or something like that. He was on a roll, man. Like quite literally. Like what's sad about Tony's situation is that he didn't go from a streak to a win loss loss. He went from a streak, like it's like a steep decline. He went from being on the top to jumping off a cliff. Basically, that's the only example I can make because he was literally on a streak, fought Justin Gaethje and just fell off a cliff, man. And he's never been the same ever again. So with his age, with the losing streak, I don't know, man. The only the only thing that I question is Michael Chiesa is not that good as well. Like it worries me as well, because Michael Chiesa is not that good. So I don't understand why he's minus 600. Like that's why I said this fight is 80% risky because skill for skill, I feel like they're closely matched. It'll come down to how prepared I feel like Tony Ferguson is. Because let me try to break it down on the feed. I think Tony Ferguson will be the better fighter. If you look at the first fight with him and Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson was winning that fight until the knockout, obviously. But Tony Ferguson was actually winning that fight. He looked horrible against Nate Diaz, and I think Nate Diaz looked horrible as well. So if you look horrible against someone who also looks horrible, then it doesn't help, man. Don, what happens to Gideon? I don't know who Gideon is, man. Gideon. Which fight is he talking about? Just got here. I'm talking about Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. So, in all honesty, here's what I think about this fight. Tony Ferguson will have the advantage on the feet. Paddy Pimblett, people are forgetting that Paddy Pimblett was losing that fight on the feet. He had to wrestle, right? So Tony Ferguson, despite all the things that I just said, still has the ability. And Paddy Pimblett just finished Bobby Green. Although I feel like it was more of an IQ issue as opposed to a skill issue. Bobby Green made a stupid decision. So it's hard to say, but nonetheless, the fact remains that Paddy Pimblett was able to finish Bobby Green. He couldn't finish Tony Ferguson. So that means Tony Ferguson still has the ability to actually fight with decent fighters. And Michael Chiesa is a decent fighter. He's not good. So that means Tony Ferguson has a shot. So that's why I'm like, minus 600 is crazy for Chiesa. Um, do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this. But like I said, Tony Ferguson, the only horrible fight that he had was against the Nate Diaz recently. If you look at the people that he's lost to, Justin Gaethje, people like what do you call him, Charles Oliveira, I think he lost to Charles Oliveira. Like he lost to high level fighters. So except Tony, what do you call him, Nate Diaz? You know, apart from Nate Diaz, I think all the people that have beaten him are still doing pretty well in their respective divisions. So it's not like he's losing to horrible fighters. That's the thing. And like I just said, Petty Pimblett couldn't finish him. He finished Bobby Green, who knocked out Grant Dawson. But I can make the argument that the same way Petty Pimblett finished Bobby Green is the same way Bobby Green finished Grant Dawson. We we didn't. It's almost. I'm almost inclined to say it looked a bit lucky. Bobby Green landed a good shot when he was coming in. Like it was perfect, right? But had that not happened, I feel like the fight would have been different. But that's beside the point. I still feel like Tony Ferguson has the ability to win this fight, unless Michael Chiesa somehow actually comes back more determined, because recently he's been looking horrible, horrible. So just stay away from this fight, man. Like, don't listen to these people who are saying Michael Chiesa is a minus 600 favorite. He's not. Tony Ferguson could win this fight. That's why, and I will repeat, my subscribers got 10 out of 14 last week. And they picked Tony Ferguson. So it's not a stupid pick. Believe me, these people are not picking people out of stupidity or anything like that, because they got 10 out of 14, which was more than me. I got 8, they got 10. So it's not a stupid pick. So I include my subscribers' predictions because they are also very accurate, you know. So they didn't just pick Tony Ferguson because they are dumb. They actually have really good picks, you know. So stay away from this one, man. They didn't just pick Tony. I still feel like Tony Ferguson might lose, but the probability of an upset here is possible. Trust me. So just leave this alone. On to the next one, Marlon Vera versus Davison Figueiredo. My subscribers feel like this is 62% safe. Oh, wow. These guys, they're disrespecting Marlon Vera. I said it's 55% risky. Marlon Vera is a plus 120 underdog. Davison Figueiredo is a minus 145 favorite. Do I think an upset is possible here? Nah, I don't know, man. I don't think an upset is possible here, and it saddens me to say this. Uh oh, you smoke you smoke weed, you okay? Um, the only thing that concerns me about Davison Figueiredo is that he's 36, right? And to be 36 at championship level, because this is a championship level fight. That's the only thing that concerns me, because Bilal Muhammad is probably the only person to break that streak. I think almost it was a very long streak, like of fighters who are 35. Obviously, they are not fighting for a belt, but once you reach a certain age, from welterweight down to flyweight, it's a bad situation for you. You can still win fights in the top 10 and maybe in the bottom 15, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to the top 5, it's incredibly challenging. That's something to actually consider. It's not just a statistic. Bilal Muhammad is probably the only person to do it in a very long time. That's the only thing that concerns me about this fight. I feel like Davison Figueiredo is the better fighter. Um, he has championship level experience. Marlon Vera looked horrible, and I've always said, for me personally, I felt like Marlon Vera was overrated because a lot of his fights he loses them and then has managed to win because of a finish. It hasn't really been because he was outclassing the other guy. Like a lot of his fights are like that. They are really close, and then he gets a finish, or he gets like a close decision, or something like that. he gets hit a lot, and on this particular fight in particular, I feel like on the feet, Davison Figueiredo will have that advantage. On the ground, I feel like Davison Figueiredo will have that advantage. So I honestly can't see Marlon Vera winning this fight, except the age issue. Because despite the fact that I feel like Davison Figueiredo is the better fighter, when you get older, there are certain things that change, especially at the lower weight classes. You're no longer as fast as you used to be. Your ability to take a punch decreases. A couple of things, and like I said, Marlon Vera has the ability to finish a fight, right? And let me see how Figueiredo's defense it looks like. Defensively, okay, they are more or less the same, Figueiredo and Vera. Offensively, they are more or less the same as well. Um, do I think an upset is possible here? Nah, I don't. I don't think so, man. Let me not say that. Let me just say, stay away from this one. I feel confident about this one. This was supposed to be my lock because I think Davison Figueiredo is going to win this one. But man, Marlon Vera is a top 5 fighter. Like, we're not just talking about any random fighter. He's a top 5 fighter. Irrespective of what I'm saying, he's managed to find finishes. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. I'll come back to it maybe when I decide if this should be a lock or not. But yeah, my subscribers and I went with Davis and Figueiredo. I still feel like this fight is risky. Um, I think an upset is possible here. Marlon Vera might not be as skilled as Davison Figueiredo. I think Davison Figueiredo is a championship level fighter, but Marlon Vera is a top 5 contender. He's not any. I don't feel like he's on the decline, and he's still young, relatively young. So an upset is possible here. On to the next one: Shara Magomedov versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. My subscribers and I went with Shara Magomedov. My subscribers feel like this fight is 64% safe. I feel like this fight is 50% risky. Shara Magomedov is -250. Is a -250 favorite. Michal Oleksiejczuk is a +195 underdog. Do I think an upset is possible here? I think so, to some extent. That's why I said it's risky, right? Because Mitchell has knockout power. The only thing that makes me a little bit more confident about Shara Magomedov is the fact that I heard, or rather, I read somewhere that Michal Oleksiejczuk was busy admitting to fans that he's going to lose. Apparently, he had a broken arm or something like that. There sounds like a couple of stories about Michal Oleksiejczuk. I think Shara Magomedov is an incredible striker. I don't feel like the wrestling will play a factor. I mean, it's not like Michal Oleksiejczuk is an incredible wrestler, and even if he was, if Antonio Trocoli, who is a giant, couldn't really take down Shara Magomedov, it shows that Magomedov has been working on his takedown defense. So this fight will be on the feet. But even then, Mitchell has a lot of power. Kevin Holland was dropped, and Kevin Holland is a decent striker. It's not the best, but he's a decent striker, and he dropped Kevin Holland. Even though Kevin Holland eventually got like a submission, he dropped him, right? So I feel like um, defensively, Shara Magomedov is still good. Even offensively on the feet, I don't feel like this fight will go to the ground. I respect Mitchell's power enough to know that anything can happen here. Um, But yeah, I think Shara Magomedov is going to win this one. But Mitchell's power, it worries me. But the stories that I'm hearing of him having a broken hand, him admitting, it shows the confidence level. It shows that if the fight becomes like a dog fight, he's probably going to be the one who's going to give up. If he gets dropped, he won't find a way to survive. He's just going to fold. Like the things that I'm hearing just tell me that if it becomes a dog fight or a hard fight, he's probably going to give up. But I don't feel like it's as safe as my subscribers feel. Um, but yeah, my subscribers and I went with Sharamagomedov. Is an upset possible here? Yeah, but not highly. I wouldn't say like the probability of it happening is high. Um, On to the next one. Cory Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. My subscribers feel like this fight is 53% safe. I feel like it's 51% safe. Um, Cory Sandhagen is a plus 260 underdog. Umar Nurmagomedov is a minus 330. No, Cory Sandhagen is a plus 260 underdog, and Umar Nurmagomedov is a minus 330 favorite. Do I think an upset is possible here? No, no, no. Normally, I would be worried about. Um, Hello, Brazil. Hi. How are you, man? How are you? Normally, I would be worried about someone like Umar Nurmagomedov fighting an experienced fighter like Cory Sandhagen, and I am worried. That's why I said 51%, and I didn't say like 60 or 70. If it was anyone else, the percentage of me, the percentage of my confidence would have been a bit higher. So, because of the fact that Cory Sandhagen is obviously a really decent fighter, um, I still feel like Umar is going to win, but I feel like obviously Cory, has the ability to actually give him problems. People are talking about Umar's last fight. People, I forgot that guy's name. People don't know how good that guy is, right? Like I normally, if you watched, I think I broke that fight down, and I did say that that guy is dangerous, and people are underestimating him. Sorry about that. So people are underestimating that guy. That guy is probably going to be in the top 10. I can't wait for him to compete, but he's going to be in the top 10. Trust me. I think Umar is good enough to strike with Cory Sandhagen. On the feet, he's going to outclass Cory Sandhagen. I don't think cardio is going to be an issue. Normally, the things that would scare me, I remember saying this about Gene Silva, right? If you watch my live predictions, I said the same thing about Gene Silva. The one thing that usually scares me about these type of fights is the unknown. It's a prospect, and you perform well, obviously, against lower ranked fighters. But how are you going to do against top five contenders, right? And I remember saying the only thing that made me comfortable choosing Jin Silva was because of the gym that he was coming out of, and that's why I was like, I think he's probably going to win that fight. I think the same applies to Umar Nurmagomedov, and on top of that, I'll go as far as saying Umar is a smaller version of Islam Makhachev. He's extremely well-rounded. All he lacks is experience. Islam has a lot of experience, so he's um, been able to improve, and his fight IQ has been able to grow because of that. But I feel like Umar Nurmagomedov is close, is the closest thing in the UFC, or the closest person in the UFC in terms of well-roundedness to Islam Makhachev. I think if this fight stays on the feet, Umar still probably will win the fight. But that camp is so intelligent that I don't think they are going to stand unless they feel extremely confident that they can win the fight on the feet. Right? So I honestly don't see Cory Sandhagen winning this fight. I think he's going to be outclassed. It might not be a finished, but I think Umar is going to dominate this fight. Um, so yeah, my subscribers and I officially picked Umar Nurmagomedov. Let me give you the fights that I feel pretty confident about. Let me go back. Cedric Dumas, nah, stay away from this fight. I said it's safe, but Dennis trains with Sean Strickland, and just stay away from this one. Jai Herbert versus Rolando Bedoya. There's so many unknowns on this fight. Stay away from this one. Let me go to the other fights. My paper is making a lot of noise. Victoria Dudikova versus Sam Hughes. This was my log. I think this is a little bit safer. This is the more safer fight on the card. I think Victoria should probably win this one. Guram Kutateladze versus Jordan Vucenic. I don't know. There are so many unknowns, so just stay away from this one. Shamil Gaziev versus Dontel Mays. Another one with. This one is very risky. Like it's not even about unknown things. Like this one is risky. Just stay away from this one. Mohamed Yahya versus Kaue Fernandez. Um, Still another risky fight. Stay away from this one. Azamat Mirzukhanov versus Alonzo Menifield. Yeah, I think this one is a little bit safer. So far it's Victoria Dudikova and Azamat Mirzukhanov. On to the next one, Joel Alvarez versus Elvis Brenner. Um, which did you say is risky? Um, there's so many fights that I said are risky. Can you please re-ask that question again, so that I can understand? Are you saying from the ones that I said so far, the fights that I feel confident about, at the very least on this card, the people that I feel like are going to definitely probably win. Let me not say definitely, but probably win. Victoria. So far, it's Victoria Dudikova and Azamat Mirzukhanov. On to the next one. Joel Alvarez versus Elvis Brenner. I don't know, man. You know what? I wasn't going to add this. Just be careful with this one. I feel like Joel Alvarez has a finishing ability, but I think this is one of the fights that I feel a little bit confident about. I wouldn't say it's a lock, but I feel like Elvis Brenner is going to win this fight. I feel pretty confident. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a lock, but I feel pretty confident that Elvis Brenner is going to win. So I don't know if I should add it to this. So far, I'd say it's Victoria Dudikova is probably going to win. Azamat Mirzukhanov is going to win. Um, Elvis Brenner is going to win, but I'm not very confident about this one. I'd take Umar over Elvis Brenner. Um, I think Umar is a little bit safer than Elvis Brenner, but Elvis Brenner is one of the fights that I feel pretty confident is going to win. Mackenzie Dern versus Lupi Godinez. Stay away from this one. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. Stay away from this one. Marlon Vera versus Davison Figueiredo. Stay away from this one. Sharamagomedov versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. Stay away from this one. So far, surprisingly, my logs. Okay, I'll call it my log. Victoria Dudikova, Azamat Mirzukhanov, Elvis Brenner. I'm not very confident, but he's one of the fighters that I feel like it's going to. So there's four fighters that I feel like are going to win. Elvis Brenner and then Umar Nurmagomedov. Right? Let me repeat them for one last time. Victoria Dudikova, Azamat Mirzukhanov, Elvis Brenner. I'm not as confident as the other people that I'm mentioning here, but I think Elvis Brenner is gonna win. and Umar Nurmagomedov. Those are the four people that I feel like these people are probably going to win this. Out of all the 13 fights, those four people I feel like are going to win. Let me answer you guys before I bounce. Um, Don, what happened to Jidon? Okay, I think I read this one. Oh, you smoke weed, you. I smoke weed. Yeah, weed is probably actually very healthy, I've heard. So that's not a bad thing. Hello, Brazil. How are you, man? Welcome. Someone said they were from Sweden. I think there was someone who's from the United States, and now there's Brazil. Um, I love my channel, man. It helps me meet people from different parts of the world. Speak Alex Poatan Pereira. I think I spoke about him a little bit. I think, sorry. Once I'm done with this stream, just rewind the entire. Actually, watch it after I'm done. You can watch it on the live section of the channel. Do you think Guram gets it done? I think he probably is going to win, but I wouldn't be so confident. That's why I just told you the fighters that I feel confident will win. I'm not sure about Guram. I think he's going to win, but I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm confident. Right? The four people that I feel pretty confident about would be Dudakova, Mirzukhanov, Brenner, even though I'm because Alvarez is a very good fighter, but I'd say Brenner and then Umar Nurmagomedov. Those are the four people that I feel like out of the whole entire card, they should win their fights. Speak Anderson Silva Spider. Unfortunately, it's no longer relevant, man. John Jones run to Tom Aspinall. Yeah, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, the beast of the. Okay. Sambo, Russian Doe, BJJ. Which did you say is risky? I think I answered your question. I'll see you guys Monday when I do my prediction results. Hopefully, this video was useful. Don't forget tomorrow, and I have to prepare the things I do for this channel, guys. YouTube better pay me a lot of money when they start paying me because like I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and I sleep at 9 a.m. because of this channel. But I love it. I love it with all my heart. Tomorrow, for the first time, I'm introducing Fight IQ. The video will come out on the standard video, um, and then the IQ will also be added to the shorts, the prediction shorts video. Actually, every short that I have on the channel. I have so much planned for you guys. I don't want to reveal it. I don't want to reveal everything I have planned. Um, Not just yet, but I have so much. If you think the channel is incredible right now, just wait. Maybe give me another year or two. It's gonna be insane. Um, Trump 2024. Okay, potentially. Anyway, I love and appreciate all of you guys. I'll see you in the comment section, or I'll see you Monday. Either way, thank you for watching. Deuces.